Good morning, team. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up in the live stream chat. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is, what is it, October 14th here. Almost all the way halfway through October already. Currently 10:16 here in the market. Sorry for the late start here this morning. I'm a big Cincinnati Bengals fan. Of course, we had the Sunday night game. We actually took my friend's plane up to New York and flew it back home after the game. And yeah, I didn't get to bed till late, so I kind of woke up late this morning. But kind of what we got going on here is market has it's a little bit slow, a little bit light volume here on the day. Where did? Hold on one second. There we go. A little bit light volume here on the day. Market kind of moving to the upside here. But really not a lot of volume. Really looking to see if this 9 and 20 is going to cross over here. Actually going to be looking more toward the short side on this. I have a potential short coming up. Like I said, we really haven't missed too much here this morning. We have been on a little bit of an uptrend. Want to see the retest here of this 9 and 20. Got about 30 seconds here left on this candle. Now RSI is sitting right around 50. If this does get above the 9 and 20, I'll go long on this. But if this holds below the 9 and 20 and the 9 and 20 crosses over here, I'll be looking for a short stop loss right above that 9 and 20 moving average. Let's see here. Still hasn't confirmed. This still could go either way. Still kind of consolidating. Still not a clear-cut trade here just yet. I'm leaning more toward the short side here, but we'll see how this plays out. Again, got to be patient on this one. Really light volume here for this Monday morning. Let's see, look like the market's going to go higher here. Let's see if we get a retest of that 9 and 20 before we take the trade. And S&P 500 up here to the 583 area. Whoa. No, not five. Let's put some limit orders down here. And market moving like just not a lot of volume today. Market moving pretty slow here. Jump in here to the long side. So looking for the market to move higher here. Again, one of the days where the volume is really light here. So still sitting here to the long side. Like I said, as long as the 9 stays above the 20, we're good to hold this. Looking for this to run up to that 5903 area for the take profit. 225 is what I'm looking for here. Again, this happened to be one of those days. Very light volume here. 1029 here in the market. Let's see. Let's see if we finally get this move. There's 175. And looking for this to push to that 5903 area. Trying to stay patient here, looking for this to finally run. Again, this is like watching paint dry today. Just such light volume here. We need 2 more points for 225. All right, I'm going to close that out here. I'm just going to take that profit here, 150. Keep an eye on, see what the market wants to do. Just such a slow moving day here. Again, 2 things to make money, volume and volatility. Right now we don't have either. So kind of hard to take bigger swings, make bigger moves here. But I'll take what the market gives me. Again, we kind of hopped on here. We saw that consolidation between the 9 and the 20 moving average. We saw this area here, but we were patient because this is still 50-50, even though that 9 is like sitting right on the 20. Even though it looked like the market was going to start to get weak here, there was still no indication that the market was going to start to sell off. What I would have been looking for to take this short here is we got the start of it. We got that break, that close below the 9 and the 20. But what you want to see is this candle here. I wanted to see it retest it, see the sellers move in, and then see a red candle right behind it. Then I would have jumped to the short side. Would have gave us a good opportunity to make money to the downside. But that's not what we got, and that's why we stayed patient. We actually got the close above the 9 and the 20. Then the 9 got back above the 20 moving average, started working higher, and then I just jumped into the long side. Had limit orders on the 9 and 20 in case it pulled back to add. Just kind of rode this, on the way up and just took profit. Kind of where I felt comfortable taking a profit. And the reason I did is just because the RSI is into the 70s now. So a little bit oversold here. So, less chance this is going to get a big move now to the upside than at some point we start to pull back here. But, like I said, this is one of the days we just don't have a good amount of volume. You can see how small these candles are. Right, we're not getting big ranges, big moves either to the up or downside. So, kind of just gotta pick your spots and take profits where you feel comfortable at on a day like this. Like I said, this ain't gonna be a home run day by any means, but we'll take 150 here. 150 is better than zero, or a losing trade by that matter. But we'll stay patient. We'll see if another opportunity comes here. Right now, RSI a little bit too rich for me at the 70 range. To continue to look to the upside here. We'll see if we don't get some type of pullback entry. Kind of see the market cool down here, but hopefully this isn't the only trade here on the day. I do have Friday's video converted. I'll get that uploaded today for you guys. And Friday was actually a loss. But starting the week out here, very light volume. So 1038 here in the market. Again, just kind of a slow moving upward market here. Not too much we can do here on a day like this. Again, even where we took profits right where the market's still sitting at. This is going to be one of those days where it's just, it is what it is. Slow moving market, not much going on. Hopefully the market gives us another opportunity here in the next 20 minutes that we can make some good money on. If not, we're going to walk away with 150 bucks, put some lunch money in our pocket here. We had a nice little week last week. Had a nice little month here so far as well. Hey BBM, what do you normally trade? I saw your message there in the general chat yesterday. You said you're not a big futures trader. I started off trading penny stocks. That's what I traded mostly when I first started. Which I did well at penny stocks. It's just, I don't know if there's a long-term career of penny stocks. And the only reason I say that is just because, like, it is very intense type of market. Like I said, a lot of fast-paced trading. Swings are very quick in the penny stocks. One thing you could be up $2,000, the next second you could be down $5,000 on a halt on the way down. But like I said, overall, made good money on penny stocks, but wanted to come something that was a little bit kind of slower moving, easier to read, kind of fit my trading style a little bit better. IQQ, but that's what's just about. Oh, options. Yeah, I mean, options are the same thing as futures, just that we're taxed better on the futures market. Futures have a lot more liquidity than options, is why I don't trade SPY options. The only options I sell is I sell premium on my long-term holdings of Amazon. And I'm looking into Celsius. Celsius has some really good option plays out there as far as selling premium. I don't really do naked calls or puts. I have, and I've done them in the past. But I do like I said, I kind of settled into trading as far as my personality and style of trading. Like I said, everybody has a different way of trading, a different style. Everybody has different personalities on what they like to do. Like I said, you got to find what kind of meets your trading goals and what you feel most comfortable with. So there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. QQQ. Yeah, for sure, brother. Like I said, that's why I'm here. That's what I do it for. Like I said, there's a lot of people online that, fortunately the trading spaces became full with a bunch of scammers that try to make money off of selling courses and all that different type of stuff than they really are giving good trading information. The ones that really crack me up are the ones that sell shit like on long-term investing. Like, don't get me wrong, there's good information that they have as far as, like, if you don't know how to read a 10K, a 10Q, like, don't know how to read financial statements, which it's not rocket science, it's basic accounting. It's that boring stuff nobody likes to do. But there's a lot of factors on top of that into play other than just, like, reading a financial statement, looking at a company. So there's a lot of things you can't control. You can't control what the management does. You can look into the management's background, see if they're making right decisions, but you don't really have a say in the decisions of what the companies are making. But those are the ones that crack me up that try to like pick individual stocks, and like that's all the investing that they do, and they try to sell you stuff. Like, there's like hedge funds don't beat the S&P 500. That like people who invest in hedge funds are just protecting the downside risk. That's why hedge funds are created. They're called hedging. It's hedging your bets, right? You get, in a good market, you get most of the upside benefit, um, but it really protects you against the downside. When the S&P drops like 40%, like it did during COVID, hedge funds are only losing, you know, most of the hedge funds lost anywhere as far as somebody's, individual account holdings like 20 to 25%. Um, but you also, because they are hedging, you also don't get the upside benefits of a really raging bull market. If the S&P 500 like last year returns 32%, you may only see, 10% as well. It's like, Warren Buffett, famously challenged any hedge fund that he would give, any hedge fund that beat the S&P 500 over 10 years, like he made a big bet of, a couple million, it was back in the day, so that held a lot more weight than it does now. None of the hedge funds could do it. So then you've got these like individual stock pickers out there that think that they're going to beat the S&P 500, and like none of them do. Now some of them get real lucky with like a couple of their stock picks that hit it big, like Tesla or Nvidia or something like that. And in the short term, it looks like they do beat the S&P 500, but over the long term, they won't. Like some of the famous ones out there, or some of the bigger channels out there, they got their start because they got real lucky on a couple picks, but have been absolutely horrendous kind of picking stocks after that. Again, the best way to invest in the long term is really S&P 500 or VT. A combination of those two is your major kind of holdings, and then like stocks that you think will beat the S&P 500. Maybe there's a handful out there of companies that you really like, or you really understand the space and kind of understand where they're going. Like, for me, Pelletier, is one of my long-term holdings, and we've been dollar cost averaging into that one, and that one's now finally starting to kind of really boom and really, but it's been a 3-4 year period since we've been investing for it before we're starting to see kind of the reap of our rewards, because the past couple of years it has not done well. And then Amazon, but Amazon, of course, I started investing in that one in 2015, and that one's really boomed. But over the last 3 years, man, Amazon's been kind of stagnant. I've been kind of really looking into them. Most of their money's made off AWS, Amazon Web Services. And they will become profitable one day on the fulfillment side, but they're still expanding that network. But that one's kind of held stagnant as well. But when it comes to trading, man, there's so much false information out there. It kind of cracks me up. Sometimes when I go to YouTube and I'll get tagged, or not tagged, but like the algorithm will pop some of those trading things up, and I'm like, oh my god. It's like the same information just recycled 15,000 different ways between traders, and like not many traders like do live day trading, and there's a reason why. It's because if you don't know what you're doing, you get exposed very quickly. And then two, they don't post broker statements, but they sell a $5,000 course. It's like, I don't know, people buy into it, so just be careful out there. Like I said, really nothing beats experience. Unfortunately, that's the name of the game when it comes to trading, and really coming to any professional career out there. Starting to get a little drop here. Might get a little action to the downside here. Like I said, I'd rather take this to the downside just because we have a nice gap to fill toward that VWAP area. But again, we want to be patient. Make sure that the market's actually going to downtrend. Want to wait for the retest here before we pull the trigger on it. Again, only one trade today just because the market's moved, pretty slow. And, like I said, we got this move. That's the bulk of the move to the upside. This move just kind of slowly happened, kind of consolidated now, kind of getting that breakdown here. Let's see here. We're going to wait for confirmation before we pull the trigger to the downside here, but it looks like we're going to get it. This looks like, looking at the level 2, is getting pretty weak here. RSI is a little bit lower than I would like at 35, so like I said, I want to see this pop back up. Get a retest of the 9 and 20 with a little bit of an upper shadow. That kind of confirms that we're going to move lower here than trying to just jump right in. So the market, and I try not to be short biased in the market, but it's the best opportunity to make money quickly. Just because when the market falls, it falls quickly, versus when it's like on a nice little uptrend. I mean, it's like, it's like they'll saying, it stairs on the way up, very slow grind to the upside, and then it's an elevator on the way down. But like I said, kind of starting to set itself up. Like I said, we may have a good shorting opportunity. We just got to be patient here. Make sure we don't jump in too early, kind of pick our spots. I'm going to put some short orders in here. We'll go ahead and jump in here. Maybe a little bit early on that, but I've got these limit orders right underneath it, or right above it for the retest. But in case we get a big pullback here, I want to have something involved. Let's see if we make a quick, there we go. We'll take that. Still look for a retest here. Like I said, I'm going to take that profit off the table here. Put some 262.50 here on the day. Still going to be looking for this to bounce back up and get a reject here. Probably going to up my position size because I do like this move. Other than the RSI now in the 30s here, starting to be a little bit oversold. So definitely want to see this pop back up, get a retest before I re-enter to the short side. Because a lot of times when it gets oversold like this into the 30s on a pullback like that, what we'll see is we'll actually see the recovery be pretty strong, and it actually, like, kind of closes above the 20. Looks like it's going to retrend to the upside, and then we get that second pullback down to that profit target area, which for us is going to be that VWAP area. So I'm kind of looking out for that as well. But so 2 trades here on the day, 262.50 here on profit after commission, 258. Again, looking for the retest here on what I do want to go short. If we can get this to kind of pop back up, get the RSI back into the 50s here, show that we are going to continue to trend down here and not reclaim and start to move back to the upside here. So I want to be patient on this next move. If we get a nice setup here, I'm going to go a little bit heavier. See if we can't pull out a rabbit out of the hat and actually make some decent profit here on the day on a slow moving market. Again, you'll have days like this. We don't have very many days like this in the market where it's this slow moving. Typically you'll have maybe 2-3 days a month where it's like this. But most of the time we've got enough news and activity in the market to drive more volume, but pretty slow today. But again, we'll see if the market kind of recovers here. Like I said, I want to wait for an A quality setup. Gonna up the position size here. That way, if we catch this move, we can walk away with some decent profit here on the day. But currently 2 trades here, 258 after commissions. Starting to get what we want to see here. There's that little recovery. We sold right there, about the best area we could sell out to take profit on that last trade here. Let's see, starting to get what I want. Like I said, now RSI back in the 50s here, starting to try to reclaim that 20. I'm going to scale in here. If I can get filled.
Order filled.
There we go. We'll take that. Order just a little bit higher here, kind of into that area. Again, we'd like to see this close below the 9 and get that nice little pullback behind it. Stop loss is going to be if the 9 gets above the 20 and we start to trend to the upside. That's when we realize we're going to run. But this is kind of what I was talking about. What I do like to see is where you get that big recovery, you get that RSI back into the 50s where you've got enough risk versus reward on this trade. It gets above the 20 moving average, then starts to come back down. So we kind of talked about this setup, kind of like how it's playing itself out here, but we want to see, you know, the big sell-off start to come in here pretty soon. Again, what we don't want to see is it actually start to uptrend here, and then that 9 gets above the 20. Which for that to happen, we have to get some nice volume to the upside. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get the big break to the downside here. Want to be patient on this. We're up 175, 225 now. You can see my limit orders to take profit here. Yep, I like this move here. Up 275. Yeah, I do. I like how this is playing itself out. Kind of what we expected here, or at least what I was hoping for. Nice little rejection off the 9 there. Let's see this. Let's see the big pullback here. Try not to be too greedy, but I like this setup. Problem is we just don't have a lot of volume on the day, so these setups just take forever to kind of come to fruition versus a day where it's like heavy volume. These moves, like, they move quickly. Let's see. We're looking for this pullback here. There's 275. Let's see. You can see profit target 1 there. We'll hit profit target 1 here. I cancel all of these. We're going to adjust our stop losses here and make trailing stop losses. So we'll put our next stop loss here to make sure we take profit even after this last one. Low of the day here is going to be the second profit area, like right around here. Pretty big gap there, but let's see if we can really hit this 287. So right now we've closed out 412.50 in profits, 404 after commissions. This last trade will either add $50 in profit to us as it stands right now, so we would walk away with 465-ish, or if we get the big pullback down here to 280, you know, and walk away with 287 here on the day, that'll put us closer to about $700-800 here in profit. Which I like this pullback here. RSI still got some room to fall. If we get this quick little pullback, I may just take this here. I'm going to take that. I'm just going to take that there. So that puts us here. Man, nice setup there. So 650 in profit, 640 after commission. 1059, I think that's it. So we kind of talked about this trade setup, what I was looking for in it, right? Right here on that quick little scalp, RSI was into the 30s, so I'm not going to scale in heavy. Oh man, look at that. Oh well, missed out a little big lower shadow there too. But anyway, so we took quick little profit here on this short. Reason I didn't hold that is RSI was already into the 30s on the SPY, right? Already oversold. Risk versus reward wasn't there. What we talked about is exactly what we wanted to see happen for me to, for this setup to kind of work out toward the short side. So we wanted to see this, RSI's in the 30s. It kind of pumps itself back up. It got the RSI like 50 on the dot. And we got that little bit of close above the 20 moving average, and then we saw it, get underneath it. And that's where we scaled in with 2 contracts. I had more contracts above it because sometimes it gets a quick little push there before it falls. We didn't get the bigger contracts. I had 2, 3, 4 more contracts I wanted to add to this, but I got 2 there. Then we got that push underneath, and we just kind of scaled out a profit on the way down. So we got what I wanted to see, in a nutshell on a slower moving day like this. Now hindsight always 2020. Again, the profit target on this is going to be toward that VWAP area here on the SPY, which is going to be that 582.38. On a day like this, I'm comfortable taking, 640 a profit here on a day that's slower moving like this instead of waiting for the bigger move all the way down to the volume weighted average price. But I can see a lot of traders here, that's what they're holding out for on these shorts. And looking for this to come to that volume weighted average price before they take profit. But again, the old saying is you can't go broke taking profit. So I'm going to take mine off the table. It's 11 o'clock here for me. And that is it. So congrats. Hopefully you guys made some money on the day. Again, I got a slower start here on the day. Again, apologize here. Bengals played Sunday Night Football, and we were up there, so I didn't get home late and kind of woke up late this morning. But really, there would have been, so 945's right here. The only thing, maybe I take a trade off the 9, maybe I don't. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't think we missed out on much, by kind of jumping in late. We got this move to the upside here, made, I think, $150, but there's not much, there to be made. Quick little scalp there to the downside, and then the bigger scalp to the downside there. And look where it touched, right there on that volume weighted average price of that profit target. So if you held out a little bit longer, again, you could have waited for that volume weighted average price move and cashed out there. But I'm good with the profit that I took off this trade. But again, this is kind of why sometimes I talk about like I'm short biased on the market, is because like look how like the market moved to the upside all day today. It's such a slow move versus when the sell off comes. I mean, these are the biggest range candles we have on the day is these red candles. This big one here, and then this big move to the downside here. So I try not to stay short biased because you can get in trouble shorting the market. If you're not careful with it, and I try to, also try to make money on the long side. But again, I always rather hit the sell button than the buy button. Like, unless there's crazy news to the upside, it just seems that, when I make good profit on the day, it's more to the downside than it is to the upside. And I think it's a little bit too is my patience once I get into a trade. Like, I don't like to hold them forever, just because the more time you have exposed in the market, the more risk that you take. I'd rather just jump in. We jumped in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later we took profit, versus this one to the upside. We jumped in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes before we were able to take profit on that first trade, and it was only for $150. And then 5 minutes here we held this trade and we were able to take about $400 or $500 of profit there off that. So I tend to be more short biased in the market, just because the moves when they happen to the downside are so aggressively violent versus to the upside. They tend to be kind of longer moving plays. Again, it's stairs on the way up and an elevator on the way down. But that's it for me. I record this. Let's see. I should have. Yep, I got it recorded. So I'll get this uploaded. Again, the Friday's trade will be uploaded as well. Again, that's a loss on the day there from last Friday, like 300 and something bucks. But I'll get that uploaded. Again, there's good content in there. Sometimes you learn more from your losses than you do sometimes than your winners. But get that uploaded. We'll get this video uploaded a time today. But nice way to start the week here. Again, after commissions, $640. Again, we didn't jump on to about 10:30, so this is about 30 minutes of work. So, not a bad hourly rate on the day today as far as the work that we put in. But yeah, again, 640 after commissions, and we'll get all this posted. Any questions? Again, feel free to put them in the question tab there. Hopefully, you guys made a little bit of money here on the day. But that's it for me. You guys have a good one. We'll be back at it Tuesday. Peace.